Good afternoon. Welcome to the conference call on Q2 FY20 results. As you would have all seen the results and observed that the company continues to perform well on all fronts. The transmission business registered very robust availability, by virtue of which it earned the qualified incentive and performed very well on all fiscal and physical parameters. Similarly, on the distribution side, the company achieved its targets with regard to the AT&C loss, rather bettered that, has also achieved very good fiscal results. So on the consolidated basis, the transmission group registered 63% spurt in EBITDA, which crossed for the quarter 1,000 mark, being 1,082 crores. The PAT number grew by about 82% and registered rupees 230 crores for the quarter. In terms of individual business, the transmission business registered EBITDA of 623 crores, which was higher by 23% for the EBITDA margin of the previous year's quarter. The more important part is we continued to register 92% EBITDA number, which by far is the best in the industry by close to about 200 basis points. Similarly, PAT grew by 37% at the transmission business to 158 crores from the previous quarter number of 115 crores. The distribution business registered an EBITDA of 459 crores, which was up by about 24%. And as I mentioned, the AT&C loss was certainly better compared to the rolling target for the previous year, and registered 7.97%, which is one of the lowest that Mumbai has seen. On all other fronts, whether it's the operational aspects, whether it is the ESG aspects, whether it is related to growth, the company continued to perform very well. We sit on a very healthy pipeline of about 8,000 plus crore of capex orders in hand. That does not include the distribution business, where the pipeline is showing up to be even stronger. So therefore, the company not only did exceedingly well during the current quarter and in H1, if I may say, but has an outlook which is continued to be promising for the future quarters too. I would stop here and then look forward to your questions and use your questions to communicate if there was anything else that I would want to add to what I stated. So most welcome and look forward to your questions. Thank you.
Sure, thank you very much. We will now begin with the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask questions may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask questions, please press star and 1. The first question is from the line of Mohit Kumar from IDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Congratulations on a good set of numbers.
Thank you.
Sir, I have two questions. The first is that, sir, can you please confirm, how much YTD, how many projects you have won in the under the tariff-based competitive bids, and what is the cost of the projects, and what is the levelized tariff combined put together?
With the entire 8,000 crore that I mentioned as the pipeline has been run through tariff-based competitive bid projects. And not a single project is now through the regulatory mechanism.
No, sir. I'm asking for the YTD. I believe that you won 4 projects, right? This particular fiscal year?
YTD details we will subsequently send you in terms of the 4 projects that we have done recently. And also tell you along with that, one second, I have it now. So, during the current year, you want to know what this is. 1, 2, no, that was in the quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 projects that we have won during the YTD, during the current year. Okay? And you wanted to know now the amount. That amount is not indicated here in the table. We will send you that separately.
Sure, sir, no issue. And sir, how do you see the rest of the fiscal year in terms of the opportunity? And is there something which has come of some kind of, let's say, possibility of the worth of transmission bid projects which can be bid out in FY21, FY22? Do we have any sense of those numbers?
In fact,
for industry?
For industry, if they actually start putting the lines for execution, it will be impossible for any player to do the survey and execute that. My sense is that you will have another 20,000 crore worth of projects in next 6 months.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder to participants that you may press star and 1 to join the question queue. The next question is from the line of Harsh Agarwal from Deutsche Bank. Please go ahead.
I just have a very basic question. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, your revenues and EBITDA are down a little bit. Can you just walk us through what's the reason for that? Is it seasonal or what drove? Yeah.
Harsh, you are reading quarter 1 to quarter 2.
Correct.
So that will be seasonal on account of the AEML, because AEML, the number of bids that get completed are different. Yeah. A Q1 will always be very heavy in terms of summer months.
Okay, understand. And then even on slide 8, for example, where you talk about operational assets availability, there is this minimum, there's a chart that shows the maximum, minimum, and average. Even there, the minimum one, the lowest bar I see for this quarter is 93.64. What is driving that? This is all transmission, I'm assuming.
Yeah. This is completely transmission. Harsh, that's related to one of the lines that we had bought from KEC, if you recall.
Right.
And in that effect, one of the towers had to be replaced by KEC at their cost, and they wanted time for that, and we agreed to the time when the seasonal demand is less. So therefore, this availability is lower because of that tower replacement work which was done this time. But we'll make up for this in the subsequent cost.
And the cost is also being done by the KEC.
So they had to do that, yeah.
Correct. Okay, all right. Thank you so much, both of you. Thanks.
Welcome. Thanks, Harsh.
Thank you. A reminder once again to participants, to ask questions, please press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. Participants who wish to ask questions may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Chirag Mandewala from Pioneer Invest Corp. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. I just wanted to know if after the tax announcements done in September, have we availed the lower tax rate, and what have been the implication of the tax change on our financials?
I'm so happy that you asked this question, because I forgot to mention that even after tax announcements, right now we have taken the conservative numbers. We haven't adapted yet the lower tax regime because we want to be completely sure. So we're consulting experts, and once we take a final view on that, that's when we will try and bring the tax angle. But I'm so happy you asked this question. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we move to the next question?
Yes, please.
The next question is from the line of Love Sharma from Lombard Odier. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking the question. I noticed that you have announced a buyback of your onshore debt and also the masala bonds. If you can share what is the thought process around these and how the capital structure is going to look like going forward.
So, Love, what we have announced right now is that we will replace our masala bond and some of the offshore ECBs that we already had, including some of the other sundry short-term debt that we had. And we want to replace it with long tenure debt, which is going to be ECB, all hedged, of course. And that's what we will pursue in the coming week. We are formally, though of course the letter has gone to the stock exchange after the board approval, we are formally be announcing that tomorrow. So the idea is to replace... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Sure. Okay, so would you have a sense of how the maturity profile would be looking like going forward of your debt?
So this round about 500 billion, which will replace some of the existing instruments which were due in the next year or two, will be replaced by a 20-year long tenure debt. That's our expectation.
Okay.
So we're keeping in mind our license period, remaining license period, and making sure that depending on how some of the old assets license periods will continue to get extended, accordingly we will work on that further.
Okay. So basically going forward, if I can understand, the shortest term debt which you will have on the balance sheet will be the dollar bonds, the existing dollar bonds.
No, there will be no short-term debt. Which short-term?
Not short-term. What I mean is the shortest tenor would be the existing 2026.
The idea is exactly. The idea is to now, since this is very steady now, the idea is to have a long-term debt which is predictable, though of course amortizing type, and we will have these using the foreign currency dollar bonds. That's true.
Understood. And any thoughts on if you're looking to replace the 2026 bonds as well? Is there any plan or any thoughts on that?
So we have a one bond. Let me just explain that. So current date profile of an obligor group has a 10-year dollar bond which is maturing in 2026. It's 10-year bullet, and the remaining is rupee loans in the form of NCDs and the CP and the masala bond. So NCDs are 2 years, 3 years maturing profile, and the masala bond is another 2 years to go. So what we are doing now is that we will have a refinancing of complete rupee loan in whatever form they are currently through this dollar bond, and that has a tenure of let's say 20 years amortizing, and the bond which is currently outstanding, which will mature in 2026, before 3 months we will do the refinance of that for another 30 years or another 10 years, because the life of the asset is the matching with these things. We have a maturity profile up to 2036 for the assets which is offered as a security under this. So this is the situation.
Understood. Okay. No, that's very helpful. Thanks for Anil as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder once again to participants that you may press star and 1 to join the question queue. The next question is from the line of Harsh Agarwal from Deutsche Bank. Please go ahead.
Anil, Kaushal, just one more thing. In your presentation, you mentioned that the pro forma EBITDA in FY23 will be about 32 billion INR, assuming that all the projects are completed that you currently have under construction and under acquisition. Can you also just help us understand the funding part of it? Like, how much is the remaining capex and amount to be spent on acquisition of these projects as of end of October, I guess, and then what's the funding plan for that, please?
Harsh, just one second. Give me a second. Oh, so you're reading the fully built up transmission EBITDA FY23.
Correct. So I just want to know how much is the corresponding capex and like funding needs against that the
There a corresponding capex number against that which we have filed up. That is 8,000 crores.
So Harsh, I think to answer your questions, we have already done the capex, and the remaining capex what we need to do overall is 8,000 crores. So with the existing capex plus 8,000 crores, we will end up doing that number. That's what is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Participants who wish to ask questions may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Anshuman Ashit from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. This is Rahul from ISEC. Thank you for the opportunity and congrats for a great set of numbers. So just, wanted your view on how the distribution business is working and in terms of the growth areas in distribution over the next 12 to 18 months that we are looking for the company.
So Rahul, the distribution business is doing very well. In fact, in 12 to 18 months, I would say beyond 12 and within 18 months, we will have the hybrid generation that we have recently been sort of pursuing, for which we floated tender and received offers, is going to be up and about, which will reduce our cost of power purchase further, and that will make us much more competitive. So, and therefore, it makes our situation so much better, considering the fact that our cost of power has already reduced. You would have seen in this current quarter, despite the fact that we bought 110 million units more, yet these are able to reduce the overall cost of power purchase. So the exercise is to become competitive in that account, because that's the key. And once our hybrid generation is up and about, that will further come down. So all of this will help us reduce our tariff and become competitive. So distribution business, all in all, two key aspects. One is power procurement cost to be reduced, and the second important part is to make sure that we continue to reduce and improve on our AT&C losses. These are the two key areas on which there will be a change, and of course, continue to do technological intervention to make sure that both the software and the network aspects are improved vis-a-vis customer interface.
Right. So the capex that we were envisaging for the Mumbai area in terms of the transmission, the larger capex that was expected, is there any movement on that front?
In fact, it's moved very rapidly to an extent that we have already got the approval for high voltage DC system, which is close to about 6,000 plus crores. And similarly, a lot of capex for this year and the next year in terms of the transmission system has already got approved. So I think now it's the implementation which is the key.
Okay, so we've already won that.
Rahul, in the distribution in the MERC parlance, it is allocated to us. I mean, we propose and they approve.
Okay.
So the winning part is at ATL.
Okay.
The part is approval.
Right, sir. And sir, the growth aspects in the distribution business pan-India, where all opportunities do you see coming? Because I think there has been a delay in the national tariff policy recently, and there was a host of privatization expected. So any view on that, sir, from an opportunity in the distribution space?
So one would say that, this entire spree of having elections and then the government, that's what delays the process. Otherwise, I know for sure that there are state governments which were contemplating announcement in terms of going by PPP route or franchisee route. But they all hold themselves back once the elections get announced in this country. One is only hopeful that you will see more opportunities in the days ahead, because now at least now it's very clear that the existing interventions haven't worked. So whether it is Uday scheme or any other intervention, that doesn't seem to be coming up to speed vis-a-vis the expectation. And therefore there will be change for the better.
Okay, so nothing tangible yet as a company you've seen, and you are hoping that things would improve for in terms of opportunity.
No. If you press me to quantify, I would say there is something tangible at Odisha, where all the three distribution companies have been announced to be on the block,
right.
And they have announced some 8 franchisees in the Sesu area. So, yeah, there are tangible opportunities which are there in front of us. I'm saying there are others which are also likely to come.
Okay, perfect, sir. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants who wish to ask questions may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Mohit Kumar from IDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, firstly on this, sir, given that the Reliance Power Putty Board is not functional for quite some time, how are you managing your power purchase right now?
So, Mohit, VIPL, by virtue of not being operative for so long, we have given them a termination notice, and to that extent, the subject is right now under consideration of MERC. Okay. As far as managing power in view of that is concerned, we have been able to actually reduce our costs, because the cost of VIPL was more expensive. In order for it to be replaced on a long-term basis, I told you that we have already gone ahead and announced the requirement of hybrid power, which will take care of the load profile of Mumbai and will help us further reduce the cost of input power to the distribution area.
Okay. So what is the quantum hybrid power you're looking at? Is it higher than the
hybrid power that we have taken approval is 350 megawatt plus 350 megawatt green shoe option. So it's 700.
Will that be sufficient?
Oh yes.
Will that be sufficient enough for us to meet our demand?
Oh, yes, we will have Danu plus this power which will be there. So those two put together will take care of the power which is consistent across the year. Because we don't want to commit to power which is going to be only for few months. But then we will do the short-term arrangement like the way we did during the current year and saved a lot of cost.
And so the capital expenditure, you explained that you have got approval for 6,000 crore. This is over how many years, and this is related to any particular project?
So this is related to a 500 kV high voltage DC project between Kurus and Mumbai, and this is to be executed in a period of 3 to 4 years.
What will be the general capex in the area?
The general capex in the area between distribution put together will be somewhere around 1,500 crores.
Okay. And so lastly on the Odisha, you said that all three distribution franchisee, there are three distribution companies in the fray. So when do you expect this to be awarded? And secondly, what is the bid parameter on which they will select?
Right now, these people are going through the pre-bid discussions, and this has been announced by OERC, which is Odisha Electricity Regulatory Commission. As you are aware, they cancelled the 3 licenses which were earlier with BSCS Limited. And having cancelled those licenses, these people have now come out with those tenders. So right now they are having pre-bid discussion on all those 3. So they haven't decided the parameters eventually, which they will announce, I guess, over a period of next few weeks.
Okay, understood, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from Jay Prakash from HSBC. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for taking my question. I understand there are some promoter loans outstanding on the balance sheet as of now. Are there any plans in repaying them in this financial year?
Jay, it's a very pertinent question. In fact, the only question to which there are no easy answers. Yes, there is a large amount which is there on our balance sheet, which is supposed to be returned to the promoters. They've been very kind and nice to ATL, I would say. But at the same time, our commitment is that it will be only through a equity or equity-like issuance that we will be returning their money. So we are waiting such an opportunity, and once that opportunity comes, then we will be able to return that amount partly or fully. But at this stage, there are no clear plans to share. So the amount is still sitting there, and of course, it's very competitive to ATL, but from promoter's point of view, it's the money locked in.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Harsha Agarwal from Deutsche Bank. Please go ahead.
Hi, sorry, I'll just ask maybe 2 more quick questions. One was...
Don't have to feel sorry.
No, I have third time I'm coming back in the queue. But just quickly, this obligor group debt on slide 24 has gone up a little bit on a quarter-on-quarter basis from June to September. Again, just curious, why has that debt gone up? Is it because of FX, or is it something sort of, again, short-term happening there? And also, can you share the EBITDA for the obligor group for the second quarter and also the first half, please? Thank you.
One second.
So, Harsha, this is what you have said is right. There is some minor adjustment. Technically, we are allowed to keep 7,300 crores we had a 7,300 crores at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, during the interim period, we are trying to optimize whatever is the treasury cost, and accordingly, sometimes we repay that and then roll over little later. So that little aberration will happen, but overall, this year for obligor, it will be in the range of around 7,000 crores.
Sure.
Yeah.
The EBITDA numbers for obligor group.
So let me just try to figure it out that...
you can send it later, Kaushalbhai, if you want.
I will send you that separately, yeah.
Yeah, okay. to both to 2Q and first half. Yeah, thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks, Kaushalbhai. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Prapti Gupta from BlackRock. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and congratulations on the good set of numbers. This is just a repeat question. Actually, I missed it. I heard on the masala bonds refinancing, for which I think the announcement will come tomorrow. You also made a mention something on the 26-year bond, the 26 maturity bond. Can you just repeat that?
So what we will do is that bond will also refinance. We'll start that process before 3-4 months. And then we will get that bond also refinanced through this another bond. And
so this another bond is a 30-year maturity bond?
No, it will be 10 years. It will be aligned with the life of the assets. So which will be in 2036. So we will do it for another 10 years or maybe 8 years or something like that.
Oh, so 10 plus that.
Sorry?
10 plus that. That's what. So right now it is maturing in
2026
plus 10.
Plus 10.
Yeah.
So after.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
And this is what I have right now, 2036 is based on 25-year calculation. Technically, it will be allowed for another 10 years also. So it is not 2036, it is 2046. But for abundant precautions, we are just saying that 2036 based on 25 years. Normally, in India, always license is getting renewed for another 10 years. For the new TBCB project, currently all the tariffs are also for 35 years. So if that happens, let's say for this, then we will have a longer maturity for that 2026 bond as well.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants who wish to ask questions may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Parth Jala from Goldman Sachs. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good evening and congratulations on stable results. Just following up on the questions of the new issuance. So the intention here is to do the 500 million issuance and clean out all the remaining debt at the obliger group. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. And just on slide 24, just to know if I'm reading this right, so this is the amount of debt sitting at these particular entities. So, say for example, at AEML, there is 8,500 crores of debt. Is that the right way to read this?
Correct. No, you're reading it right.
Oh. Okay, correct. That is not the debt undertaken for the acquisition, but that is the actual debt sitting at that entity also, right?
That's correct. As of today, including further capex that they may have done, you would have seen previous quarter it got reduced and got increased again. So that will be basis the additional capex requirements, etc. So as you know, the reduced debt will continue to increase with capex for AEML.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the last question in queue. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Anil Sardana for closing comments.
So thank you, friends. Thank you so much for your participation in the Q2 conference call. If you have any further questions, you're most welcome to send that across to us, and our team will ensure that you get your responses. At the same time, wishing you all a very happy new year, and we look for the Q3 conference call somewhere down February perhaps. Okay, thank you. Good day. Bye.